Hey everyone, Benny the Comicstorian here, and I've got a special comic book that I'm going to be reading to you, and yes, this is a sponsored video for Jack in the Box. Now, the story within this comic book is a heroic tale about a young Mark Hamill going to work at Jack in the Box and getting the duty of working at the drive-thru, but getting himself fired for using a clown voice. He then goes on to an amazing career within the movies, but he always remembered his Jack in the Box employment. And Jack finally reached out and brought back Mark Hamill. To celebrate Mark Hamill's return to Jack in the Box, they have decided to bring back the limited time spicy chicken strips with the spicy good sauce for $5. And they've also got the French toast sticks with syrup for $1.49. It's all a limited time thing going on at Jack in the Box, but the reason I'm bringing you this video is they've asked yours truly to do a dramatic reading of the Jack in the Box comic book that tells the story of Mark Hamill's return. So, I now bring you Jack in the Box, The Return of Mark Hamill. Hollywood, 1970. The sun shines down on the bright Jack in the Box building. A young Mark Hamill walks through the door with a smile, and Jack Box looks up from behind the counter. Wow, even for the 70s, you have an iconic haircut, he says as Mark walks towards him, unfolding the newspaper in his hand. I see that you're hiring, he says, and Jack nods, asking if Mark has any experience in the fast food industry. Well, I eat here 3 times a week, Mark tells him enthusiastically. Jack doesn't even hesitate. You're hired, he proclaims. Day 1 sees Mark learn the art of cleaning the floors, making the food, and packaging everything for the customer. He quickly becomes a master, learning to craft delicious food even while blindfolded. And with that, he moves up the ranks to Employee of the Month. This kid's got something, Jack thinks to himself. But there's one thing that Mark can't do: work the drive-thru. He watches with anticipation, asking Jack Box if he can have a go at it. Nah, kid. It takes months to work up to that, Jack tells him, and then Jack turns back as Tommy finishes helping another customer. Closing the drive-thru window, suddenly a pain creeps up Tommy's arm and he falls to the ground. We got a cramp! It's reaching his arm! Tommy, no! Jack shouts as he rushes across the room, Tommy falling, tears in his eyes. I'm sorry, Jack. I'm so sorry. He gasps and Jack cradles him in his arms. Shh, you did good. Your words were always the first thing my customers heard. And he looks up at Mark, tears in his eyes. We need you on drive-thru, kid. Stat! And Mark rushes forward, not wanting to let Jack down. He puts on the headphones. Welcome to Jackbox. May I take your order? He asks quickly, and Jack nods as he watches. That's it, kid, he whispers. 2 hours pass, and Mark suddenly gets a great idea. The next person that comes up to the drive-thru is greeted by Mark with enthusiasm. Welcome to Jack in the Box. May I take your order? He asks in an over-the-top clown voice, and there is no reply. Jack assumes that he's doing a great job, but when he comes out of his office, he hears the clown voice, and he stops, staring. You can't just come in here and act like a clown, he finally says, sighing, looking down. I have no choice, kid. I gotta let you go. You want to pretend to be someone else? Maybe there's a better job for you out there. And with that, the sun has disappeared and the rain falls from a darkened sky as Mark walks away from Jack in the Box. In the mid-70s, Mark is sitting on his couch when he gets a phone call from his agent. Have I got an audition for you, my boy? How do you feel about sci-fi epics? The agent asks. Mark thinks about it for a moment before shrugging. Meh, he answers. In his office, Jack looks up at the old Employee of the Month photo of Mark, a tear in his eyes. You could have been one of the greats, he whispers, but as he gets up, he places a hang in there cat poster over the old photo. And time passes with Mark getting even more work. He looks up one day to see someone eating Jack in the Box. That's a lunch I haven't seen in a long time, he says softly, turning away. Jumbo Jack, he mumbles. Jack goes to one of Mark's movies, tears in his eyes as he watches the man work. Then the 90s roll around. Mark is at the red carpet signing autographs. He thinks he sees Jack behind him, and he turns with a smile to greet him, but it's just a kid holding a balloon. He turns away in disappointment. Jack is at a store opening, cutting the ribbon to cheers. He thinks he sees Mark behind him, but turns to just see a kid holding a dog. He turns away in disappointment. We get to the 2000s, and both accrue trophies and awards in their fields, but neither is far from the other's minds. They both wake from dreams, calling out to each other. Present day, Jack lays across a couch, I don't know what it is, but something's missing, he tells his therapist. I've fed millions of people. I'm open 24 hours. I gave the world mini tacos. I'm even bringing back spicy chicken strips and French toast sticks, he says, and his doctor nods, suggesting that maybe he should mark down any of his regrets. And Jack suddenly sits up as it hits him. Mark! Regrets! That's it! He exclaims. It's the next day that Jack finds himself on the set of one of Mark's movies, and he walks on ignoring everyone, tears beginning to well up in his eyes. Mark! Jack. And they both look at each other. Been a long time, they say in unison, and Jack smiles. I've watched all your movies. And Mark smiles and nods. I've eaten all of your food. Jack asks Mark if he wants to come back and finish what they started. Another shot at drive-thru? Mark asks, and Jack nods, asking him if he's still got what it takes. Mark pauses for a moment as he reaches for the collar of his suit, ripping it off in one pull, revealing his Jack in the Box uniform. Do I ever? He shouts. The two of them walk off into the sunset together, with Mark glancing at Jack. Can I still do the crazy clown voice? Jack simply responds, nope. And thus our story ended. To the delight of everyone, Mark returned to Jack in the Box drive-thru. Jack even offered him his old job back. According to Mark's agent, the offer is under consideration. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please go check out the sponsor of this video, Jack in the Box, by going to shopjackinthebox.com. Get your hands on that comic book. Or just go to the local Jack in the Box near you and get French toast sticks and spicy chicken strips. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. We'll see you next time right here